Okay, in today's video, we're going to be making this Freddy Krueger inspired murder weapon, or slasher glove, whatever they called it. Okay, the things we're going to need is a $50 coin. Kennedy $50 is what I use. 9 copper pennies, make sure they're copper. I got 4 pieces of Romex cut at 3 inches. 1 piece of Romex cut at about 1.5 inches, maybe 1 3/4 inches. And what else I have is a dollar store fork for the knives on the glove. Okay, the first step I like to do is drill the holes in the coins. I made this little template up. This is a clear piece of cutting board, dollar store cutting board. And this is the neck of the coin. I set up like that, hold it in place, and with my center punch, I make all my punches around the coin. Okay, now that I've got all my punches done, just so you know, one is just above "In God We Trust," and then the other ones are between the letters, the 4 spots between middle of the letters in Liberty. I'll drill out those holes with a 1/16 drill bit, and I'll come back when that's done. Okay, now that I have the holes drilled out, what we'll do is we'll set this coin aside, and we'll start working on bending up the pennies. Okay, what we want to do is we want to take our pennies and go into the vise about halfway, like that. If I can see that. And Lincoln's head is halfway, his bust is halfway in the vise. And then a nylon hammer. We're going to take it, bend that over. Now, we're going to do that with all 9 pennies. Let me pull it out, and you'll see it's pretty much bent in half. It doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, now that I got these all bent up, I've got to sand the surfaces inside the V of all the coins, and then apply some flux. Okay, I got this last one fluxed up, and then we'll come back with the next step. Okay, the next step is to break off all these tines off the fork. And you should be able to just give them a little grab, and they break off. I'll break all those off and come back. Okay, now that you get all the tines broken off the fork, I like to stick it in this vice grip like that, just to have it hold on something. And these are body hammers and dollies. If you don't have them, you could just stick it in the vise and kind of bend this. But I like to kind of peen these over so they get that nice hammered look. And they're all curved like that. We've got that curve like that now. Okay, I'll get them all done and we'll come back. Okay, once I got the tines all hammered the way I want them, I like to take a drill and just stick it in the vise so it opens it up just enough so I could set the pennies in like that, and I have some place to put them. And what I'm going to do is put 2 pennies in the vise, and there's your fork tine, your piece of Romex will go in just like that, and you want to make sure the surfaces are touching. So you gotta maybe play with this a little bit. Okay, once you get that perfect like that, what I do is I take a little bit, I take a couple of pieces of solder that I cut up and drop them in there. It's kind of like making tacos. Put the solder in there. And okay, I'll come back with the next step. Okay, now you got that perfectly placed in there, just like that. What you're gonna want to do is get your torch. And what you're gonna do is heat one penny at a time until the solder melts, and then you move to the next one. You move to the next one. Solder melts. Take and apply a little solder to that, to the tine. To relight this. Get that tine nice and hot so it'll take the solder. Just like that. There we go. And then let that cool. Okay, now that you've got that soldered all in there, we'll do the next step. What we're gonna do is I'll take it and I'll show you this, how it's soldered in there. What I'm gonna do is close up these pennies a little more. On the wire. Just like that. There you go, you got a finger. Okay, I'm gonna do the rest of these up, and I'll come back when I'm ready for the next step. Okay, for this piece, this is the thumb of the glove, and it doesn't get a tine. It doesn't get a tine from the fork. And we just weld this one regular, solder it regular. Solder that in there nice like that. And we'll come back on the next step. Okay, now you should have all your fingers and your thumb ready. Okay, now we're going to take the coin and we're going to insert all the fingers from the bottom into all the holes like that. And I'll come back when I get them all in there. Okay, now you're going to have all the fingers in about like that. And what you want to do is kind of eyeball this, and you want to imagine what fingers would look like in the natural positions. And we start bending these out. And get them where we want them. And push this one in a little bit more. That's about all right. All right. Get this one back in there and get it bent up. and I'll come back when I get these where I want them. Okay, now that we have these right about where we want them, they're not going to be perfect right this minute. I got the thumb in there to put that in there. And what we're going to do is we're going to take a little flux, and we'll brush it. We'll brush it right on the bottoms of the wires here. Don't forget the thumb. And we'll come back for the next step. Okay, what you want to do here now is you want to heat your torch. Get your torch, and you want to heat the coin. You see all that solder go right into the little joint. Just like that. And then we'll come back with the next step. Okay, our next step, and almost our final step, is you're going to make sure this is cool. It cools down. You don't want to touch it before it cools down. You're going to come in here and you're going to snip all these wires. And then you have something like that. Don't worry about how it looks right now. The next step we're going to do, we're going to put it in the vise, lightly like that. And I'll come back when I got my tool. Okay, now you got it in the vise. What you want to do is you want to take and you want to knock these burrs off with a file. I use a half round on the flat side and the medium file. Knock them all down because they will catch you. But don't get into the coin. Want to stay away from the coin as much as you can. If you nick it, it's no big deal. Freddy's glove wasn't perfect either. It looked like something homemade anyways. Now what you got to do is work on your pose. I mean, it's a glove, it's a hand, so whatever suits you. These will all move, the knuckles will move. I mean, you can do whatever you want with them. And there we have my Freddy Krueger inspired murder glove made out of coins. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. Thank you.